Radhe Radhe. Welcome to another episode of Kannan Magizhgindraan, a series that brings out all that pleases Krishna, based on a beautiful Madhurageetham, a divine composition of our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Maharanyam Sri Muralidhara Swamiji. In this episode, Gopa Kuteeram, Minnesota focuses on swArthaminmai, the quality of being selfless. In his Madhurageetham, Sri Guruji sings, swArthaminmayal Kannan Magizhgindraan. Krishna is pleased by acts of selflessness. Selflessness, in simple terms, is the quality of caring more about what other people need and want than about what you yourself need and want.
Being selfless means putting others before yourself, which can be hard because we are wired to think about ourselves first. Our instincts and the messages we hear from society often tell us that we should focus on our own needs and wants. Plus, being selfless requires understanding how others feel and being willing to help them, even if it means not getting anything in return.
Like any other good qualities, selflessness is also contagious. When someone does something nice for others without expecting anything in return, it often inspires others to do the same. It's like when someone holds the door open for someone else, and then that person feels like doing something kind for another person too. These little acts of kindness spread good feelings to everyone around. When we witness someone being selfless, it warms our hearts and makes us want to join in too. It's like our hearts want to be part of the kindness party. And you know what's amazing? When lots of people come together to do a service, to do a selfless kind karya, it brings everyone closer. So, being selfless isn't just about doing good things. It's about making the world a happier and friendlier place for everyone.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna teaches that being selfless means doing your duties without worrying about what you'll get in return. He tells Arjuna to focus on what's doing right without thinking about himself. By letting go of selfishness and doing things for others, we find inner peace and happiness. Krishna shows that being selfless helps us grow spiritually and become better people. And when we do acts of selflessness together as a community, isn't that the very essence of being in a satsangam?
Like how Lord Dattatreya finds his gurus from nature, we can find several examples of selfless acts around us in nature. There is a verse in Sanskrit, Paropakaraya phalanti vrikshaha, Paropakaraya vahanti nadyaha, Paropakaraya duhanti gavaha, Paropakarartam idam shariram. For the benefit of others, trees bear fruit. For the benefit of others, rivers flow. For the benefit of others, cows yield milk. And for the benefit of others, this body exists. The shloka conveys the idea that all elements in nature, including trees, rivers, cows, and even one's own body, exist for the purpose of serving others. It emphasizes the importance of selfless service and helping others as a fundamental principle in life. There are several instances in Srimad Bhagavatam where we get to see acts of selflessness being extolled. In the Dashama Skanda, we find Krishna speaking to the Gopas about the role of trees. They take on rain, wind, heat, and snow and protect others. Krishna then goes on to say how glorious is the birth of these trees, which offer support to all living beings. With their leaves, flowers, fruits, shade, root, bark, timber, fragrant sap, ashes, pulp, and shoots, they offer everything that one desires. Even when a tree falls in the forest, it becomes a cozy home and a source of food for new plants and animals. Even though the tree is no longer alive, it helps other living things grow and thrive. Then Krishna says that this is an example for every living being. Life becomes meaningful when energy, wealth, intelligence, and speech are utilized for the good of others.
Another story from Srimad Bhagavatam that exemplifies the theme of selflessness and devotion to duty is the story of Ranti Deva. Ranti Deva was a righteous king known for his unwavering commitment to serving his people and guests. Despite facing severe hardships, he never wavered in his dedication to Dharma and compassion towards others.
Once, during a severe drought, Ranti Deva and his kingdom suffered from the scarcity of food and water.
Despite this, he continued to share whatever little provisions he had with his people and even with wandering travelers who came to his doorstep seeking help. He regarded all beings as manifestations of the divine and treated them with love and respect.
One day, when Ranti Deva and his family were on the brink of starvation, a Brahmana arrived at his place seeking food. Despite having almost nothing left to offer, Ranti Deva welcomed the Brahmana with open arms. He and his family fasted for 3 days to provide food for the Brahmana and his guests. Just as they were about to break their fast, another person arrived at their doorstep with his dogs, begging for food. Without hesitation, Ranti Deva gladly shared the little food they had left with that person and his dogs, even though it meant they would go hungry themselves.
When he was left with just water to quench his thirst, he saw another man suffering from hunger and thirst. Ranti Deva was very moved to see his plight and offered the water to him. But the person refused to take the water and said,
"O king, they say I am untouchable. If I touch your water, I'll pollute the water. Maybe I am destined to die of thirst."
Hearing this, Ranti Deva couldn't hold his tears and threw his arms around that man and said,
"How can you pollute anything? Isn't the all-pervading Bhagavan Vishnu residing in you as well, my brother?" Saying so, Ranti Deva made sure that the man drank the water to quench his thirst.
Despite facing extreme hunger and adversity, Ranti Deva remained steadfast in his devotion to duty and selfless service. His only prayer to the Lord was,
"O Lord, I do not pray to attain salvation or freedom from this cycle of birth and death. I want to stay among all the living entities and suffer all distresses on their behalf, so that they may be free from suffering." Several Mahatmas have shown us the virtue of selfless acts through their lives, be it the greatest of Bhagavatas, Prahlada, when he gave Harinama to his friends, even if that meant physical harm to himself, be it Sant Tukaram, who despite facing hardships himself during the drought, tirelessly worked to alleviate the suffering of those around him by sharing grains from his own granary. Be it our Acharyas and our own Sri Guruji, who lead their lives in selfless service to the Lord and for humanity, we are shown this humble path that brings us closer to Krishna and which can help us lead a fulfilling life that pleases Krishna. To quote Sri Narsi Mehta's very famous hymn, "Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiye Je Pid Parai Jane Re Par Dukhe Upakar Kare Toi Manu Abhimana Ane Re." A true Vaishnava, or a dear devotee of Sri Krishna, is one who understands the pain and suffering of others. They are compassionate and empathetic, always seeking to alleviate the suffering of those around them. A true Vaishnava is one who selflessly serves others in times of distress. They do good deeds without seeking recognition or reward, solely out of compassion for others. An ideal Vaishnava is one who is free from ego and arrogance. They do not boast about their virtues or accomplishments, but remain humble and grounded in their devotion to the divine.